ho, ho, everybody. Glad you made it. It's another So production. How's he hanging upside down, you're asking? There's blood rushing in his head, probably. Oh, man. Getting lightheaded. Hold on a sec. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, my God. A lot of blood. Wasn't expecting that, but you weren't expecting that either. Glad you made it. It's another So production. Baby, we're doing it Monday, October the 31st, 2022. Typical classic vampire. I know. Oh boy, man. Try doing that, hanging upside. I know it comes to me way more naturally than it must come to you, hanging upside down and what have you. That's just what it is, baby. I guess today you could call this, maybe it's an intraview. Intra, not intro. It's not an interview. It's an intraview with a vampire. That's what it is, baby. Let's get a sip of this for a second. Ho, 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 no, wait. Ha, 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 ha. That's what it is, baby. Fucking come right at you. You're like, what are you drinking there? What am I drinking here? You're like, is it coffee? No, it's not coffee, silly. It's not coffee. It's blood. It's pure blood. And that's what we do around, because I'm a vampire, goddamn. I'm a real goddamn motherfucking vampire, and I'm just tired of people who are like, oh, I wonder what he's running on. Coffee? Blood, dude. Ladies, this is, and you're like, where'd you get it? Where'd I get it? It's my own company. I ventured out there, because yeah, there's been today I guess we're bridging the gap. Let's call it what it is. We're just, because all this, thousands of years, my people and your people, and we're all like, you know what I mean? We're like, oh, can they get along? Can they not get along? Is it a stake through the heart situation? Must it always come to, let's all chill for a second. Let's see if we can unwind, okay? So right here is pure blood. How'd I get it, you're asking? It's fucking incredible what we've done here. Thousands of years of research has gone into this, by the way. Many people, we lost a lot of good people. Few bad apples went missing as well, which we're not complaining about, but you know what I mean? Thousands of years of remedies, of different ingredients, trying different things out with, the honesty approach didn't seem to work, because we show up and be like, yo, can we get a pint of blood? And all of a sudden everybody's just like freaking out, like, oh, they're bloodsuckers, they're vampires, oh, stay away. You know what I mean? So it's like no bueno in terms of PR for our people. And I'm just trying to make it so that we can all get along. But yeah, thousands of years of research, different methods we went through, human blood, we went through animal blood, we went through different means of attaining the blood. But I have great news, everybody. Ladies, gents, ever wonder what happens to used tampons and, or Tampexes, or I don't know, ever wonder what happens to, the blood the females just, once a month getting rid of? They're just like, oh, no bueno, I don't want this blood. Guess who wants this blood? This guy. And other guys and gals very similar to myself. So yeah, that's what we did. We went out there, we had a little rendezvous with the team. We had a team, and we met up, and we're like, what do we do? We're like, where can we source this thing? We're like, where is all the blood? Tampons, you know what I mean? That's like right there. So we take those, and we have a refinery. It's like a brewery, but for, fine, filtered, refined, fresh period blood. And I know it's gonna be, for you, for the average consumer, probably like not an easy sell, but for, like, again, my people, we're loving it. I can attest to that for myself. And yeah, beautiful, man. I love this. And no, it's not coffee. No way in hell would I be drinking coffee today, because you know what day it is today. You know what day it is today, baby. Right there. Right there. So yeah, that's purified period juice. PJ. That's what we're trying to sell it as PJ, period juice, or like, the name's not been set yet. We've got the product. It's more of a marketing aspect that we need to tackle right now. So, but I'm very happy with the results. It tastes great. It's full of nutrients, and we don't have to go around all like, you're like, yeah, for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, your people have come and like sucked our people's blood. And listen, it's more awkward for me than it is for you. All right? You're like, you think you're uncomfortable with like two little holes right there on the jug. You think I'd like it to go down that way? You think our people would like it to go down that way? Man, I mean, the civil thing back in the, there was a time where vampires and humans intermingled in society. Good times. And it was civil. Everything was civil. It was like, you scratch our back, we'll scratch your sort of stitch, every time. That's the thing. The big band-aid industry and the whole, hygiene and medicine kind of nipped our relationship in the bud, because every time somebody would fall, get a little minor injury, a little scab here, a little bump there, a little bruise there, a little scratch here, a little paper cut there, little hammer and nail through the old hands, bleedage. Oh, who's there? Your local vampire sucking on that hand, dude. That's what we did. We were there for you guys. But yeah, all of a sudden it had to turn into something, with printing press and the news and the media and the walkie-talkies. That's what we used to call movies back in the day, because they'd walk and talk, but you wouldn't be able to hear them. And you're like, why would you call them the walkie-talkies? To be honest, I don't know. The talkie came after the walkie. Let's just put it that way. But nonetheless, man, we do what we can. And yeah, there was a good time. That's what I'm trying to say. There was a golden day. There was a golden age of vampires, humans getting along, and then a little bit of just, bad, PR on maybe it's our fault, maybe it's no, I'm not pointing fingers here. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. We can all get along in terms of there's just a thing we got for blood, and that's what it is, baby. That's what it is. So you don't need to panic right now. Relax, okay? Calm down, relax. You're looking at me, you're terrified probably, and I just want you to relax. I just want you to calm down. Let's go through some rumors, and let's just because it is 2022, 2023. I'm a modern day vampire, and you're like, but you're thousands of years old, and you're right, I am, and that's hence all the experience and what have you. So I can just give you the gist of it right now, and what we can just put aside and behind us, and we can move forward in a new age, and what have you. So rumors, murmurs, typical classic vampire shit that you might have heard of, that has kind of kept you away from interacting with a vampire. Yeah, you might have heard that we'll just all willy-nilly, we'll go just when we're thirsty, we'll just go looking for blood. And it's not like that, fam. It's not like that. We don't consume, because that's the thing. It's like, I like to be in shape, so I don't consume more than I have to. And that's relatable, Species to species, relatable. And that's the thing. And people are like, yeah, you guys like the blood. Yeah, sure. Was there a time in the, in the 1300s, 1400s, somewhere in, let's say, Romania, Transylvania, let's say, was there a period where people were, consuming a little bit more than they should have? Sure. It was all new for us as well, because, we didn't ask for this. Some are like, that's what, and some are like, others are like, maybe he's born with it, and clearly born with it. And yeah, today is a special day. It is, you guys call it Halloween. It's just another day for me. Just another typical day. And yeah, today's actually a little bit easier, because yes, sometimes you might find fugazi vampires out there, and it actually makes my job easier. It makes my life easier, because it's that one day of the year where I could just walk outside looking like this, as and normally people will be like, oh, look at him, he's different. And boy, oh boy, if I had a penny every time I heard that sentence or that phrase. You're like, where did it begin? Childhood wasn't easy. It was a time of confusion, fun, play, excitement, adventure, getting to know oneself, and a little bit of confusion. But isn't that relatable also to every species out there? Childhood can be fun, exciting, adventurous, confusing at times, but it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. Yeah, there's definitely the childhood period. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a little bit different. It was a little bit, you know, challenging, but that's what it is, man. Sure. Did I go to school and, you know, when everybody had little, you know, little lunchables, little ready to go lunchables made by mama the night before, did they bring it to school, and then all of a sudden your boys, you know, I'm opening up my lunchbox, and what is that? What is that? It's a pint of, you know, roadkill blood. You know what I mean? And I'm sucking on roadkill, and everybody's like, oh, you know, and they say stuff like he's different, and they point. The kids, I remember distinctly, they finger pointing, different, and you're like, oh no, that's not bueno. I know. And you're like, what about the teachers? Were they? Yeah, they were there too. They started the whole thing. They're like, look, oh no, he's different. This whole mess of a situation, but nonetheless, man, we plowed through it, and we got moving. You know, as with age comes a little bit more just feeling comfortable in your own skin. So yeah, early 20s, mid 20s, everything kind of smoothed out. Grow into yourself really is essentially what it is. But yeah, sure, everybody goes through those little childhood periods where like, oh, I'm not fitting in quite well. And yeah, again, it's good to go through challenges, but you get stronger for it. That's what I learned. That's what little Jimmy learned. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Everybody learns lessons, man. That's what it is. Sharing and caring and growing together. It's amongst each other. Together though. Like, you know, as a team. But yeah, man, I went through different periods of my, you know, life. There was definitely the period where I was just like, oh, out there to get it. You know, it's like, oh, I was so like, oh, if I saw, you know, exposed neckage, if you got that long neck, you know what I'm saying? I was there, dude. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, oh, if you went like scratchy because you got a little itch on the neck, I was there in the scene. My goodness, you're just sending all sorts of signals out there. Mr., Miss, doesn't matter, because it's just purely blood at that point. That's all I see, red. It's the color of blood, and that's what it is, man. Sure, was there, you know, were there times where we did consume more than we should have? Absolutely. You know, everybody indulges, you know, and that's, again, stages of life. Go through them. Yeah, there was definitely the 1300s, 1400s. There's definitely the dark ages, which for us was super. Well, I thrive in the dark. Our species thrive in the dark. You know, hence the whole, you know, I like dark spaces, not gonna lie to you. I like a good cave. You give me a good cave, not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna have fun. You fill that up with a little bit of, you fill that cave up with a couple of them bats. Put a couple of them and what are bats essentially? What's your you know, did you ever look at a street rat and be like, man, if that thing had a pair of wings on him or her, it'd be like a bat? Well, that's what we essentially had. We had bats, street rat with wings, which is dope because it's like street rats, gray. Street rats with wings, black. And yeah, it just, the whole setting, context, it worked really well. And yeah, some people like to go out there and train pigeons, messenger pigeons, carrier pigeons. Pigeons used for correspondence. Others, you know, we used to, we used to grow our own rats. We used to, you know, that's what I did. And I get along with them fairly well. I'm not gonna, while we're on the topic of bats and vampires, here's another thing that I'd like to just clear the air, because one thing about the human, and here's the thing, you're like, is it cultural appropriation that we have Batman in our world and you guys are like, you know, vampires, bats? You're looking at me, you're like, you guys, me, I'm the original Batman essentially, because, you know, I hang out with bats, have a whole flock of bats. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a bat shepherd, if you will. I'm hanging upside down, as I was in early stages of this video. If you I hang upside down with the bats. So that's like innate. It comes to me naturally, and that it just gets a little bit under my skin. I get a little bit cheesed because I see all these like movies and different franchises. And I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. You know what I'm saying? It hurts a little bit, but at the same time, yeah, initially I would have been like, it's cultural appropriation. You guys are, you know, consuming the whole bat culture with a man, Batman. Clever. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, good actors came on. They all, you know, and everybody gave it a good spin on their own. Like, it's great stuff that you guys have put out there. But yeah, I'm being honest. If we're being a complete, and that's transparency right there. I can't, you know, today's about transparency, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, if I could just say that I was a little bit cheesed, that I was a little bit irked, because yeah, I felt a little bit betrayed. Why didn't they come to me? You know, I probably would have had a couple of ideas, not gonna lie to you. Just, you know, again, fella who hangs out with bats in caves all day, every day. You know, and yeah, so and the whole bat caves, don't even, you know, bat cave, like, again, low key, okay, you know what? My idea, it was my idea. I felt a little bit like I'm not getting, but whatever, man. It's all good. It's all good. I'll support it. I'll keep supporting it. I'll support it, you know? I'll support it. And that's what it is. But it's all about collaborating now at this point. It's all about our species, our, you know, our kinds getting along and doing different things and what have you. Yeah, but that's what it is, man. So I regularly hang out with bats. I regularly hang out in caves. I do, you know, I'm good with coffins. Very, if you're looking for a guy out there, you know, ladies, gentlemen, for whatever cause you're like, if you're like, man, my cause needs a fella who can be uber comfortable in a coffin. A lot of people, when it comes to coffins, a lot of people, when it comes to just being confined to small little spaces, they get a little bit claustrophobic. Not this fella. I'm so good in tight little spaces. The smaller the space, the more coffin-like the space. If it's a coffin, obviously, that's my first choice. But if it's coffin-like, you know, let's just say a rectangular box. You know, so for packaging goods, sometimes, you know, you get large packages in boxes sent out to you, and that box is filled with little styrofoams. I like to just sometimes empty out the goods, put myself in there, cover myself with those little S-shaped styrofoams and I arrive at a person's location, home, destination, they're expecting their package, I pop out, it's a whole thing. They're not, you know, they're not completely disappointed because it's not their package, what they were looking for, because they get a chance to, you know, interact with a vampire. It's kind of like a intraview of a vampire, or with a vampire of its own, with that person or individual or family at that time. So yeah, are they upset they didn't get their desired package? Yes. On the other hand, it's not like the box is completely empty, you know what I mean? I'm popping out. So that's like, and after being, you know, I've been shipped to so many places. I get in, yeah, that's because that's what I do. That's what I does. I go into the shipping dock, I, you know, find a nice little box, empty out the goods, crawl right in. A couple of weeks later, I'm in South America. Boop, bop, de boop, you know what, I'm just there. And they're like, oh no, we were expecting a large TV. I'm like, you know what I mean? What's better than a large TV? This guy right here. Right there, dude. I'm right there in their face. And yeah, do they get scared? Everybody does. You know what? That's not on you. That's more, it's a me thing, it's not a you thing. But I'm trying to remedy it, and today's all about the remedies. Man, that blood is just so good. Numb period blood. That's what it is. That's what it is. You're like, show us. Nope, you're gonna have to buy it for yourself, mister, sister, from another mister, from another mother. Doing it, man. Doing it big. Doing it vampire style, and that's what it is, man. But yeah, other misunderstandings, or perhaps, you know, just, I guess we're gonna know each other. You're like, what's your favorite, yeah, typical questions that I always get asked. You're like, what's your favorite spot on the human body to go after? Everybody thinks it's the neck. You know, everybody to each their own. I'm not going to sit here and generalize, because generalizations are just, you know, you're assuming, and to assume is to, you know, make an ass out of you and me, but that's a whole other story for another different time. Point is that I personally, you know, it's not so much the neck, it's literally, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere, and I don't discriminate. Some people are like, oh, the people that we get, you know, the views on the tellies, the depictions on the tellies, on the medias, it's everybody's like, oh, these vampires are like, relatively, you know, they're kind of, you know what, it's like as if they have a type or something. And I just want to, no types, as long as, actually, that's the thing. Sometimes you see the victims being like, you know, oh, we're gonna depict like Victorian era England, and everybody's all like, oh, look at this young pretty lady, and yeah, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just like fangs on the neck right there. That's the easy. But it's like, I've had situations personally where like, you're like, would you, let me ask you a question, basically. I don't discriminate in terms of like, have you ever consumed a obese individual? 100%, dude, 100%. No, because that's what it is. It's just, at that point, it's To us, it's actually, you're getting more bang for your buck. So yeah, were there a couple of hefty individuals involved? Absolutely. It's like, I can't, that's what it is. Because that's, think about it from our perspective. From your perspective, you're like, oh, it must be somebody that's like, they gotta be uber attractive. They gotta be like fucking, in your, the way sometimes I hear it depicted on the streets, people like to associate numbers with people. I personally don't like that, because I think we're, all of us, the species, we're more than numbers and digits. But like, some people are like, oh, that's a 10, whatever, that's a dime right there. And then some are like, you don't even know, fam, there's this other list that's like, there's 15s and 20s. And you're like, does that rule apply to us when we're like eyeing out a person for blood? No, not at all, because sometimes bigger bodies, again, it's a bigger sum of blood. So we don't look at it like that. We don't objectify people like that like you guys do. We just like look at, again, setting context, what's available. And I'm not going to be picky. I'm not going to be walking around today looking for somebody who's like, just killing it in some sort of like throwback outfit to the 1800s or 1700s. And it's just like, I don't got to get that melodramatic. You know what I mean? It could literally be anybody. So I feel good about that. And I just wanted to put that out there. So don't feel discriminated. If you're like, oh, do I gotta be in some sort of a setting that's like a little bit spooky for you to show up? Do I gotta be in some sort of a forest area, some sort of a ravine area? Do I gotta be on the Highlands? Do I gotta be maybe in the Scottish Highlands? It all helps. Honestly, a nice mist, a good little bit of Greenland. Give me some marsh, give me some marshes. If you got, it's like foggy, marsh sitch, nice, you know what I'm talking about? You go in the marsh, you're like wearing rubber boots and overalls. You're, spear in hand. You're out there marshing. I don't know what you're duck hunting in the middle of marsh, and it's like October, November, maybe around this time of year, and it's foggy out there, and I'm there. Like, man, it's go time, and it's fun for everybody. And you're like, do I get turned into a vamp? That's another classic question that people like to ask me. Do I get turned into a vamp? Common misconception is that upon first contact via the teeth and the fangs into the body, it depends. If I go, here's the thing. Up until 30 seconds, you're safe. 30 seconds, that's what it is. Sometimes people do the overkill. That's when, if you go above 30 seconds of blood, and you don't need more than that. I don't need more than that. That's what it is. More than 30 seconds, you may have a chance of coming over to this side and doing a little bit of the good work yourself. And some are out there trying to, achieve that. It's possible. I don't personally go out there and I don't like to turn people, because it's like, we respect everybody's I respect everybody's practices and just ways of living, essentially. I'm like, you don't need to, that's me doing my thing, and I respect you doing your thing. If you're interested, we try to actually talk you out of it. Have sit downs, we're like, this isn't for you, and we go through all the steps as to why this is not for you. Hence sleeping in a box, hence sleeping in a coffin, hence hanging out with bats, which are, again, if I could just refresh your memory for a second, street rats with wings. Yuck for you guys. For us, it's like the cute. If you can get past the demon-faced street rat with wings, man, they are so cute. Sure. Have I been bitten? Absolutely. Do I have scratch marks? 100%. Did I get infected? Yes. Is their poop toxic? Initially, yes. After a little while, it gives you a little buzz, not gonna lie to you guys. So in the cave, we have a good time. And I try to put these points and mention to you that, listen, you gotta give up a lot to gain access to this. And it's pros and cons, basically, when it comes down to it. And for most people, the transaction's not worth it. So I'm just like, we're in the middle of the marsh, you're wearing rubber boots, you're duck hunting, 30 seconds, in and out, no one needs to know, don't make a big deal out of it, keep it on the DL. Most people are cool like that. That's why you don't hear too much of these stories, because it's like one of those things where people are like, oh, I saw an alien, I saw a vampire. Hard for others to believe unless you can show them evidence. Here it is, raw flesh evidence, sucking on fucking purified period juice right in front of your eyes. There's no more censoring, there's no more, that's what this is. It's about taking ownership. It's about being comfortable in our bodies and your bodies as well. And it's about sharing, essentially, because that's what it comes down to. So yeah, we don't discriminate, and I also try to like, it's like, same way I feel about tattoos. I love them. I see them as an art form. I see them as like decorative, beautiful, different. You know, it could be silly, it could be meaningful, it could be so many things. But to somebody who doesn't have a tattoo, I'll be like, consider not getting a tattoo. You know what I mean? But unless you want to get one, and then like you're knee deep in tattoos now. But that's what it's same thing. Similar, different, but yet the same. You know what I mean? Vampires, tattoos, pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. If I could draw one comparison to describe to you how clear it is to be a vampire, if you know, vampires, tattoos, if you can just draw the links between those two concepts, it should be as clear as daylight. Not a day like this, of course, pretty clear outside, but it is a little bit cloudy. But you know, other days where it's like crispy clear outside, not a cloud in sight, clear as daylight, you should be able to understand the concept. Tattoos, Dracula, vamps, right there. Fucking, and that's what it is, man. This is really good. You guys should try it. You guys should consume this as I produce it. As I produce more, you're like, is it safe? Am I gonna get diseases? Listen. I'm not gonna pretend like our first couple of thousand batches were perfect, okay? Were there contaminations? Of course. Were there people that were like, you know, because that's what it is. When we produce these and sell it, we don't just discriminate and be like, oh, for vampire consumption only. When we put it out to the market, we let the consumer decide, okay? And the cream rises to the top. That's what it is. So best products always out there, available to the consumers. And yes, initially in the early stage, let me ask you this, fella, let me ask you this, lady. Do you think your favorite energy drinks were first legal, wherever you're legally consuming it now, were even heard of in places where you're like consuming it on a daily basis? You think that's what it is, baby. We have to go to you know, and places where restrictions and regulations are loose, because that's what we are. We're loose up in this bitch. And I went to the, let's just say, not even gonna say place, I'll say like we went south and we went east, let's just put it that way. And we experimented for thousands of years. Nightclubs, day clubs, halfway midday clubs, dude. Between night and day clubs, we had attended every sort of clubs, in the AM, in the PM. We 24/7, different clubs, different settings, and we tried every sort of concoction and mixture, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of blood, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. How much purification do you want to leave? Do you want it like to be purified? Do you want it to be crystal clear? You know, period juice, or would you be cool with like a little bit like a little lump in there? You know what I mean? And it's like, could people consume that and be like, oh, what is that? Like, you know how you consume tequila sometimes and it's got a little worm in it? Could we have marketed it that way? We soon came to realize that most people, although our kind were cool with it, some reg people found it a little bit disgusting to be like swallowing lumps of like blood clot, essentially that's what it is. Okay, healthy for you, great for you, okay, but again, this is all vampire science, don't quote me on this thing. And yes, have we gone through the rules and regulations and the standards of procedure and conduct? Did we go through the FDA? No, we did not. No. Did we try? Absolutely, and we're still trying, and one day we will, God willing we will. But with your help, I'm hoping the consumers will speak for the product. Once we see the demand is there, I think clearly we can make a case. We can make a couple of thousand cases. We can make a case for this, is essentially what I'm trying to tell you. Doesn't need to be in cases. I don't want to make it too complicated. I just kind of like simple, you know, bottles, little makeshift objects from home, fill it up. Where'd I get started, you're asking? In my mother's kitchen / you know, bathtub as well. That's how it starts. And I want you to know, if you have a dream out there, you know, start with what you have available. Go into your mother's kitchen right now. Go into hopefully there is a sink. Get into your mother's sink, you know, push away the dishes. And while you're at it, you know what, while you're brainstorming in there, while you're just like thinking of ideas, give those dishes a little bit of a, you know, just wipe them off, clean up, do the dishes. It helps, it's like meditative. So you're killing multiple birds with stones, because hopefully where you're situated, the sink is close to a window and you're out there chucking ideas of stone ideas to bird ideas. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Cook it up, get in there, get in the bathtub, and start experimenting with your own little concoctions. Because, and again, did we lose a few people? Absolutely. Was it directly related to our product? I mean, good luck proving it. It could have been anything else. It could have literally been anything else. You know what they say out there? They say the number one killer of man stress. So was it our product or was it stress? Daily stress. That's the number one killer. And behind every disease, behind every successful disease is stress. And you can take that to the bank and talk about it. It's a good product. If you got good connections at the bank and take this to the bank and happen to have somebody, let's say a bank manager, let's say a supervisor, have a sit down, just feel the room, get the vibe. Are they in to invest? If they're willing, you know what I'm talking about? Should we take it, do a little bit of presentation, come up with a little bit of a business plan, whatever they want, we can provide for them. Mind you, I'm not so much into like business plans and like writing things down. I like to just show up and kind of give you the product and let you be the judge. And you're like, well, again, what about the people that lost their lives? Listen, that was early stages. This number of fatalities has significantly, it's been reduced. I'm not saying that we're like perfect, okay? Because we're always striving for like, I don't let perfection get in my way. I just like to, we build it, consumers consume it. And again, if bottled water, ma'am, sir, if you're out there consuming 75 bottles of bottled water, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna drown there. There you go. So it's the same thing. Is it our product or the method or amount that they're consuming? How are they? Is it because that's what it is. We take these and we put it in these beautiful cups with no labels, bottles with no label, and we give it to you and you consume it out there. And yeah, should you, again, say it's like alcohol too. If you're gonna go out there, one bottle of whiskey, two bottles of whiskey, probably not gonna feel too well. Same thing, and again, you're like, how much should I consume? Again, this is all, we're just here to have a good time. I'm not here to tell you, because everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's metabolizing at a different rate and a different pace. And I'm not here to be a party pooper. I hate that. That's the thing. That's one thing our brand is not about, being party poopers. All right. So I'm not gonna put labels and warnings and be like, oh, if you're on this medication, it's like fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? Have fun. That's what it is. If you're like, I'm pregnant, can I consume? You know what it is? It's the way I look at it, ladies. It's like, it comes from the ladies, and it's we're giving it right back. And that's what I like to. Here's what it is, man. Not only am I trying to, I guess, engage the vampire species with the human species, but I know what's out there. I know there's a thirst for innovation and new workspaces going into the modern era that we're going into. And I like to just put a hand out there and invite the ladies. You can think about the opportunities, think about all the possibilities, because essentially, man, you can make your own. Oh man, you're gonna get into the oh man, are you gonna become my competition? I should have planned this out way more. But that's what it is. I'm not about to, just because I found it, just because you know what it is, just because I found, not gonna put a claim to it. And again, it's one of those situations where I feel like this is cultural appropriation? No. I say it all goes round and round and round. And you know what? Let me just capitalize on this for another couple of years, and then after that, I'm not patenting this, man. Because ladies, you guys can just go out there and what it is. And so, thank you. Did I discover it? Absolutely. Were there other competitors that early on in the game? Did I sabotage a few careers? Did I go out there and was I behind some of the rumors that started to get the vampires in trouble? You're asking, would I? Listen, man, if we're being completely honest today, listen, there was few, we did discuss briefly the 13th and 1400s century time here. There was a couple of guys. Not gonna lie to you. Were there a little bit of competition? Was there a little bit of competition? Was there a little bit of just classic rivalry in any setting between any sort of species? Sure, absolutely. Was there somebody that was way, that's, I'm not here to like be like who's the best vampire, who's the worst vampire, or like who should have been spearheading this whole movement. I'm not gonna, and that's what it is. Did I play dirty is what you're trying to ask. Did I I'm being honest, and I think that's what's important. It's not about how, it's about now. So I could easily go into those details about how similar ideas were initially being put forth by other vampires with, let's say, more talent in the industry, with more backing in the industry, with more finances in the industry, with more planning, with more, maybe they even had a business plan, maybe they even had the business up and running, maybe it was already their business essentially, maybe it was their family business and they were in it for generations, they were really good at it, there was a whole refinery process that they had invented. Was there such vampires existing at the time, 1300, 1400, 14th century? You know, a couple of them were named Vilat, maybe Romania, Transylvania region. Was everything basically set up? Did I walk in there and just be like, look over there, and bite him on his neck? But that's like, you know, that's like, that's how the game goes. That's how it is, man. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, it could have worked out for Vilat. Not gonna lie to you, it could have worked out for Vilat the. You're like Vlad the Impaler? No, different Vlad. That's a different Vlad. This one, Vlad the Impala. Love lowriders. But yeah, that was, and yeah, I just had to put an end to it and take over the business. So yeah, in case anybody asked, I just wanted to be straight up honest on the record. And yeah, but it's been many a centuries, and it's like, it's mine now. It's fine. I basically took out the entire family. And but that's, times were different. You guys don't understand. If you're looking at it from like today's perspective in 2022 going into 2023, this sounds maybe a little bit vile, maybe a little bit, man, that's intense. But again, go back centuries ago, dark ages, light ages, light going into dark, things were wild. And I did things as a young vampire. Am I proud of everything? I'm not proud of everything, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I wish things were different. No, because I'm the type of person, vampire, that looks at the present situation and says, well, what can we do now? What can we do now? Instead of, because everybody can easily look to the back, behind them, and be like, who's there? And hopefully no one. Hopefully no one. Because that's freaky. If you do that, you're like, whoa, who's there? And somebody's there. Unless you're expecting company. Otherwise, but we're not going to get into that. Point is that, you know, we could easily point back and be like, oh, this person, you know, took over my business, or this, you know, again, is it cultural appropriation? Is it, I don't get mad at Batman or DC. I don't get mad at, you know, and I expect the same amount of, you know, because we're working together essentially. As we, and I'll fucking come right at your neck, dude. Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, like, oh man, I will fucking, like, right there on your neck, dude. Oh my God, it's happening again. Sometimes, you know, it's, I'm trying to work on it. I've been trying to work on it. It's been getting better. With age comes, with more practice comes more, but I will, oh man, if you're just out there, because I'm running low on some of this purified period juice, all I need you to do is just invite me inside your home through your video device that you're holding in the palm of your hands or on the screen of your desktop screen. Invite me in and I'll be there. Yeah, we can do it digitally now, because all the time before it was like, don't let them in through the front door. Now it's just like, you let me in. If can I come in? You say come in and see what happens. Wagwan, fam. Word up. Straight up and down. Say it. Say come in. Ah, you chicken shit. You're not saying it, because if you said it, I'd be right there, dude. I'd be right there. And you're like, what about different people, different times? Thousands of years of just, you don't think I figured it out? I figured it out, dude. We can just, oh man. But, I'm sorry. That's a little bit of the, it happens. It's like innate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're good now. We're good. I'm not going to come at you, dude. Don't invite me. Don't tempt me, dude. Don't tempt me, lady. Because I'll be there through videos. I'm already there in the videos. In the future, too, which is like cray cray. But nonetheless, man, yeah, the whole thing with opening doors, that was a thing. I wasn't used to doors. Because we had revolving doors. In the vampire communities, doors were like revolving. Vampires come, vampires go. It's loose. we weren't used to like flappy doors with, locks and what have you. It's again a little bit just knowing that, oh, where's the entrance, where's the exit. It's just good to communicate, but we got those things figured out. Other rumors, other murmurs where you must have heard, you're like, how do we, in case I want to come right at you and grab you by the neck and just like, but I'm not gonna, because I've been taking classes, I've been taking seminars, and I'm good now. I've got a hold of things. And again, that's why we go out there and produce these goods so that it doesn't have to come to that. But let's say, one day I run out of the goods, the period juice is running low, you know what I mean? And you're in sight. What do you do to protect yourself? You're like classic, stake through the heart, wooden stake. I'm not gonna lie to you, fam, I work out. So personally, it's not gonna work. In some cases, in some instances, you might be lucky. You're like, what about garlic cloves? Again, that's sort of a rumor. It's not that we're like, that's more of a preference sort of thing. And me, myself, I grew up on garlic. So like it's kind of like peanut butter allergies for us. If you consume little by little, you get used to it, and I'm okay with it. So originally it wasn't even like that. Originally people were like, man, back in the heyday of things, there's also like, there's the biting, there's the blood, but there's also like reproduction, mixing vampires and humans. And if you wanted to, like, if you're like, okay, I'll let him suck on my neck for like 30 seconds, but that's just, but there were different types of vampires out there. And sometimes, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna pretend like everybody behaved super well, but a positive we can take away from all this is that back in the day, a way to protect yourself was to take garlic and put it right up the vag or the man cooch. And that in and of itself was just, you just put a little bit of garlic up the vag or the man cooch, and it's not going to smell too bueno. So that's the thing. That's what it was. Basically, we get down there, we're like, oh, and just vanish, because who wants to deal with that? I just got like my 30 seconds worth of buzz. I don't need to be doing this. You know what I mean? But eventually we came to realize, oh, it's just garlic. It's not, because initially the concept was magical. Not gonna lie to you. A little garlic clove in the vag, a little garlic clove in the butt. You get near, you're like, oh, what is this new smell? And it was off-putting. We got over it. You guys stopped as well. It was a whole thing. Does it work? You know what I mean? If you want to, like, it's like, I think we've all evolved, essentially, is what it is. And we've all been just consuming each other's products and cultures for so long. I don't think it's a big deal anymore. So, yeah, I think it's just, again, making do with what we got. I don't think we could completely stop it. Will things happen? Absolutely. Between our communities, will things 100%. But in terms of, can we find solutions? I think you're looking at it right here. I think you're straight up looking at it. Man, but that's what it is. Oh man. See, I just flew and like came back down right there. I do that. It's crazy. You want me to fly again? Oh man. How did you fly so elegantly and just like come right back down right in front of our eyes? Vampire, dude. I can do that. You, on the other hand, do not try this at home. Do not pretend. Like, it's okay if you, and I get it, actually, you can pretend to do it, and maybe today is probably one of the best days of the year in human society to do it, because you guys call it, I believe, Halloween and what have you. But again, this is just another day for me living my best life. And yeah, I'm very grateful for the way things have worked out. We've come a long way. We've got so much more ahead of us. And this is just the beginning, baby boys and girls. Baby boys and girls out there and baby boys and baby girl vampires, and also everybody, adult baby boys and baby girl vampires out there as well. The elderly vampires as well. Every age group, we are a syndicate. We are doing this together. And I will come right at you. If you start, oh man, your neck is looking shiny. I see it. Fucking, you're a big tease, you know that? You're a big tease on a day like this. On a day like this, teas. But I'm good because I got my purified period juice. But we do still sell it with clot as well. That's like, imagine, because we got like purified, pure. That's like, imagine orange juice, pulp, no pulp. Blood clot, no blood clot. Same thing. You know what I mean? And you're like, that is disgusting. Don't knock it till you try it, is all I'm saying. Don't knock it till you try it. Again, great for everybody. And yeah, if we can get this going, then we don't have to consume, adrenochrome, which is like, I think that's a positive move forward, instead of going that route, getting people aroused, scared, doing crazy shit in circles, in closed circles, behind the closed doors and closed circles, open circle concepts, doing all sorts of freaky deaky shit. You don't need to go down that path, man. Lady, we can work this out together. Introducing the all-new PJ. That's right. PJ. No, that's pussy juice. PB. VB. Vag blood. VB. BB. VB. That sounds better. If you think you're out there with a better name, you come up with it. You write the better name. Write it in a comment. Be like, I think this would be way more marketable if we were calling it PJ. Puss Juice is another. Puss Juice, time together. That's another product. And I don't forget all my product. And yes. These tentacles, these webs are interconnected with every other business that I've created in the past, and they will continue. We're like a conglomerate, essentially. We're a syndicate, is what I'm trying to tell you. We got our hand tentacles, not to be mistaken with hand testicles, a rare combination of genetics and mutations. Rare, yet funny. Hand testicles. But no, not hand testicles, hand tentacles. In every little pot, baby. Every little pie, we got a piece of that pie. We are the pie. We are the pieces of the pie. One pie. One piece. We're one piece. We're all one. And it's good to be able to make money off this product that I discovered. Is there anything else that I'd like to clarify about our species intermingling together? What else is out there? Could you be killed? Yes, absolutely. Multiple stakes through the heart? Yes. One stake, no bueno. Multiple stakes? Yes. Silver bullet. It actually needs to be a silver bullet. I cannot emphasize how many times people have come up. Cheaping out, okay? Just cheaping out, thinking they're gonna just silver coat the bullet? No, ma'am. No, sir. Silver bullet means silver bullet. Through and through, made of silver. Don't go lead bullet or whatever, and then you're giving it a coat with silver, and you're like, oh. Or sometimes it's just not even like, and sometimes you just don't even cover it in like silver. You don't even coat it. You just go copper or other metals and think it's like, you think when we say silver bullet, it's like a generic term for bullets, because most bullets tend to be a shade of silver or gray. You're like, oh, silver bullet, why don't you? No. Made of silver, made of silver. And if you don't come in there with, so that's like, again, giving you a heads up, because yeah, man, sometimes I'll just come at that neck of yours if I'm hungry, if I'm thirsty, but luckily it doesn't have to come to that. We covered the garlic, we covered the bullets, we covered the steak, we covered the coffins. I do have my own brand of coffins coming out soon. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna be doing some. We're gonna be bringing it back. We're gonna be bringing it back. Tired of just regular, and this is for both the vampire community and the human species. Tired of just like getting buried in a coffin and then getting some dirt put on you. Forget that. We're going glass coffin with air humidifier in there to keep you fresh, frickety fresh. Okay, and we can put you in there. And we're gonna put smoke in there because it's gonna be lit, and there's gonna be lights and lasers, little lasers implanted inside the coffin with screen doors, sliding screen doors, so your family members, relatives can come up at you, and it'll be raised. Forget going underneath the ground, dude. I want these things raised, glass, see-through, on, imagine like a trolley situation where you can like push it as well, because I want these things to be mobile. You know what I mean? And that way your family can not only come visit you, they can maybe take you also with them to certain places. Let's say they come visit you, pay respects, also want to take the kids out to, you know, grab a bite to eat at, I don't know, Arby's, McDonald's, your favorite fast food joint, whoever. You know what I'm talking about? That way you could just like hitch it to the back of the old car, station wagon loaded with the kids and the fam, and now you're on the highway. It's only a 5-minute drive. You can just drop it right off, come pick it up another time, or roll it back down the hill. It'll just like kind of like, you know, get situated somewhere, and you can GPS these things so you don't lose it. And that way your relatives can also be out and about. And basically think about how people feel about loose shopping carts in the shopping mall or the grocery parking lot when people finish shopping and they sometimes don't return the cart to where they were supposed to. And think of that. Think of how you feel about that loose shopping cart in the middle of the fucking parking lot, and then you happen to back up into it because somebody was too lazy to walk maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes to just, park it back in there. Think about that feeling, but now apply coffins with your loved ones. But again, flashing lights, maybe a smoke machine in there, like a little fog show, good music, whatever your music, your choice of music, or their choice of music. We've got it all. And this is how we keep going, baby. I love you all. Thank you for all the love and support. Where can you find these fine videos? On YouTube. Subscribe for the full-length videos. On Instagram. Follow me. Patreon.com/Rob Sadri. And that's what we do around here, baby. We have fun. And we're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll be back here again very soon. In the meantime, stay safe, because I'm out there. Oh, he's flying now. He's flying now. Oh, wow. He's gonna turn upside down. Like he's gonna fly upside down. Is that face paint chipping from his face? I doubt it. What kind of face paint would it be? Acrylic? I can't imagine that being too good for his health, but he's dedicated to the cause. I'll see you guys very soon. I'm getting lightheaded again. Oh boy.